Hello and welcome to Down to Earth. Our question this week is from a viewer, and it's a pretty common one. She wants to know what's all this stuff that's falling from the trees and onto her car. Well, a few weeks ago was very heavy pollen season for many deciduous trees, and the ones that we notice the most is the live oaks. They release a lot of yellow pollen at this time of year, and then their catkins, their male flowers, fall from the trees. Pollen is very heavy this year due to some weather issues that we've had. There were a lot of fall and winter rain, which made for very healthy trees after a stressful summer. And those trees, our live oaks, do lose their leaves in the early spring, and then they develop flowers before the new leaves come on. Those flowers are wind pollinated, so when there's a lot of wind and some dry, warm days, that pollen blows around quite a bit so that these trees can pollinate other flowers and reproduce themselves and make acorns. These plants do have both male and female flowers on the same tree, but those male flowers, of course, with pollen, are the ones that give us trouble. As I said, the male flowers are called catkins, and they do hang from the branches in cascades that kind of fall down, and then when they dry out, they do fall off of the tree. A warm, dry, windy spring days help disperse that pollen, and then all the catkins fall off onto your car. So first you'll notice, and onto your heads, first you'll notice some yellow pollen on your car around the sidewalks, and then you'll notice some really strange looking dry items around the neighborhood or on your car. Our plant this week is Seniorita Rosalita Cleome, and that's a type of spider flower, and the cultivar on that is Seniorita Rosalita. This is a newer cultivar, Cleome, which has beautiful dark green leaves that are star-shaped. A very pretty plant overall, and it also has clusters of small pink flowers that are very pretty as well. This plant blooms all summer, right up through first frost. It also attracts hummingbird and butterflies, which makes it a nice plant for our gardens. It usually gets from 3 to 4 feet tall, but it will stay shorter if it gets a lot of sun. It gets about 2 feet wide, so give it a little bit of space. It's only hardy to 32 degrees, so it may be an annual in hard winters like we had last year. This plant does prefer full sun, but it can take light shade. In the light shade, it will get a little taller because it will be stretching for the sun. It's heat and drought tolerant, which makes it great for our gardens. But it does need regular moisture and good drainage, so amend your soil in the beds where you plant it. It's a sterile hybrid, so it doesn't form messy seed pods, and so it also doesn't reseed itself in your garden, making itself messy for you to have to deal with. It does only need fertilizer a few times per season, so it doesn't require much maintenance at all. It's time to sow seeds of pumpkins and watermelons. Most all herbs can be sown now as well, and flower seeds. When you do plant seeds in your garden, be careful with mulch. We do all want to mulch our gardens to keep water in the soil and to cool them off this time of year. But you want to be careful when you plant seeds because with that extra height on the soil, they will have trouble pushing through that in addition to be buried in the soil. So you want to mulch around them only after they've come out of the soil and you've seen them this spring. The pumpkins and watermelons will, again, make fruit for you later this summer or into the fall. But you want to go ahead and plant them now so that they'll have plenty of time to grow vegetatively and then produce flowers in the late summer and then be pollinated and grow fruit for you next fall. We'd love to hear from you. Visit klru.org/ctg to send us your question or plant of the week from your garden.